Hey, this is Matt Adelman with Matthew Adelman Realty. I wanted to walk you guys through a topic that gets brought up a lot, especially for people unfamiliar with the Twin Cities, but even people who live in one area and are looking at relocating to a completely different area that they don't know much about. And that topic is crime and safety. Which parts of the Twin Cities have more crime or less crime? What types of crimes are popular in certain parts of the city? And so most of this is public data. You can go online and you can find a lot of this info on your own, but I really like to go to adt.com/crime. ADT is a home security system. It would make sense that they have a good track of crime that's happening throughout the entire country. And they have a really nice interactive tool that allows you to select an address, a zip code, a city, a county, and get a total picture of the level of crime happening in that area. Now, use this tool with a broad brush approach, meaning you can look at an entire zip code, 55423, Richfield, Minnesota, and you're going to see that Richfield, on average, has more crime than a typical city in the country. That doesn't mean Richfield's a bad place. Richfield is a wonderful place. I grew up in Richfield. Yeah, there's crime, but most of the crime is in certain parts of the city. And so when you look at Minneapolis in particular, Minneapolis has way more crime than any other city in the country, or I mean in the state, maybe in the country, for certain crimes. Minneapolis has a lot of people, right? Minneapolis has way more opportunity for crimes to happen, just more people, more circumstances, more things to vandalize and steal and so on and so forth. Doesn't mean Minneapolis is bad. Minneapolis is a wonderful place to live. It just means you need to be very aware of the different neighborhoods and the different places within the city that tend to see more or less crime. St. Paul is going to see a little more crime than most cities. St. Paul is a wonderful place to live. You just need to really dig into the neighborhoods themselves and go block by block in some cases and make sure that you understand exactly what that neighborhood is like and what are the different levels of crime and different types of crimes that are common there. Right? Makes sense. So let's walk through the tool and I'll show you guys what I'm seeing and what this report's going to show you for the Twin Cities. So broadly speaking, green means way less than the national average. Yellow means less than the national average. This pink color means that city or that zip code is about at the national average. And then the darker red means that particular part of the city or that zip code is going to have more crime on average than the rest of the country. So this chart is looking at total crime, all things that are captured by police departments. So assaults, robberies, homicides, vandalism, theft, you name it, it's going to be captured in this report. And you're going to see, for the most part, that where there are more people in major metropolitan areas is where you're going to see more crime. Like, that's pretty common throughout the entire country, that phenomenon happens. So, I mentioned Richfield earlier. 55423 is the zip code. You're going to see 1.46 times the national average in terms of total crime. Now, again, it's going to be in certain parts of the city. I would find it hard to believe that you go from Edina, this bright green spot on the map, and right, after Xerxes Avenue, it suddenly switches to 1.46 times. That's not the way it works, right? I think you guys get that. It's going to be other parts of the city where you're going to see that. But again, broadly speaking, you can start to look at certain parts of the city where you're thinking of making a move and get a feel for overall how much crime is happening or not. Where I think this gets really helpful is when you filter it based on different types of crime. Burglary, right? A lot of people are going to want to know about burglary. I'm buying a house. Is my house, does it have a high likelihood of getting burglarized or not, right? Or my car getting broken into or whatever. And you can see when you look at burglary, for the most part, the Twin Cities has less burglary than most of the country. Again, the high areas of over-indexing versus the national average is going to be in the major metropolitan. So Minneapolis is bright red. St. Paul, parts of St. Paul, and then you can see it changes quite a bit. There's only a few parts of St. Paul that go bright red, and then just one part in the North Metro where it's a bright red, and then you've got this outlier out west. Okay, so for the most part, there's not all that much burglary in the Twin Cities. Well, what about murder? Well, for the most part, we are way under the national average throughout the Twin Cities, with the exception of Minneapolis and one part of St. Paul. So, I mean, that is a stat. Murder would be one I would really want to be aware of, right? As I'm looking for a new city or a new place to move to. Property crime. What is proper? I mean, this looks pretty similar to the overall crime map that we looked at earlier. So, you can use this tool to just get a feel for, again, the area that you're looking to move to, how much total crime is there, what types of crime is in that area. And then once you hone in on a city or a certain part of the Twin Cities where you want more info, that's where someone like me comes in, right? Ask me about address 123 Main Street in whatever city, or hey, what about these houses here? What's the crime look like in that neighborhood or that part of the city? And that's where we can really make sure that you're just informed and aware of the reality of what living in that area is. So I think this is a really important topic. I know it's not an easy topic. People don't like to talk about crime levels and, call out certain parts of the city. The reality is, though, that certain parts of certain cities have higher crime rates than others. And so if that's important to you and you're worried about that, make sure that you're as informed as possible. So hope this helps. If you've got any other questions, if you're looking at moving to the Twin Cities and you want to sit down and pick my brain on what areas, or send me some addresses that you want me to dig into and find more info for you, I'm happy to help. We're always here. Contact info is below, and hope this helped you guys. Take care.